Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So, she's done it again. She has done it again, and I need to talk about it because it can't just be me that sees this. You guys, if I've seen it, you have to see it as well. Now don't panic, she hasn't hitched her skirts up and done another twerking video, but she has done another mummy mimicking moment. And no, she's not mimicking her mummy, but she's definitely mimicking Harry and Prince William's. It's the sort of thing that is a psychologist's dream, and it just gives me the ick. It makes me think of Norman Bates. There's definitely been a contrast in the difference of them celebrating their two children's birthdays. For Archie's birthday, there was a single photograph released with a gushing post on Instagram of a little boy in striped pajamas looking out at the ocean, and it kind of looked a little bit sad. It reminded me of that one with him holding a balloon all by himself. Then of course we have Lily, who is Meghan's favourite. Sorry, Meghan's youngest child with Harry. Well, she got, quite a number of days celebrations. First of all, you had two photographs and gushing posts released of Meghan, one of them a very intimate one after Lily was moments old and brought into this world when they do the skin-to-skin contact. Then 8 hours later, Harry was remembered and there was some more gushing posts about their daughter and two photographs of Harry. Then we had the twerking video released to do obviously Meghan trying to induce labour for Lily. And then we get a 2-day extravaganza packed neatly into a perfect Instagram video with a Peggy Lee soundtrack played over the top of Meghan and Harry taking their children around Disney World, the happiest place on earth. This to me screams damage control. We heard recently that Harry and Meghan have now employed new members of staff, and the majority of them are PR people, public relations, trying to improve their image. And I can almost hear, like a fly on the wall, the meeting. We need to make you come across more family orientated, Meghan, especially, with you promoting With Love Meghan and then the children, and wanting to basically merge this all into your brand now that you can suddenly merge the children. I guess Harry finally got worn down and gave his permission. So going out and having a big family day out would be perfect, and it also takes away the noise from, whatever this was. Obviously, it was an epic backfire for Meghan and it didn't go down the way that she wanted it to. Now, naturally, every moment of this private family trip was captured, photographed and recorded by somebody else, because we had the backs of Archie and Lily, standard, but we also had the backs of Harry and Meghan. So obviously someone else is taking those photographs. They would have taken security with them because they're very important people, and no doubt they would have had a couple of staff members also with them. Meghan at one point is caught looking back, and the only thing I can think of is like an owl or the girl in The Exorcist that rotates her head round at such an angle to make sure that she is having her moment captured on the log flume. And we all know why Meghan would have been super happy about capturing this moment, because it is her and Harry reliving a Diana and Harry moment. Also, Prince William was on the log flume as well. But this Diana moment was not the only Diana moment that Meghan did, and I would say she definitely rehearsed it. So when you go to theme parks and you're on these rides, you know that you have your picture taken. Meghan knew the exact moment because she timed this perfectly. So this is Meghan on a theme park ride with Prince Harry. This is Princess Diana on a theme park ride with Prince Harry. You cannot tell me that this is not rehearsed, practiced, and on purpose. Look at her expressions on her face. Meghan has definitely been sitting in front of the mirror practicing that one. Meghan doing that, showing off Diana's bracelet and tank watch, and the fact that Diana is doing exactly the same. Diana was on a water ride with Harry, so you naturally put your hands up to stop the water from hitting you smack bang in the face. Meghan was on Space Mountain. There is no reason for her to be going Exactly like Diana. Mimicking Diana was something that I believe came very naturally to Meghan. Her family and even childhood friends have said that Meghan was obsessed with the royal family, and more specifically Princess Diana. She wanted to be Diana 2.0. Not only did Meghan have lots of books and all of the magazines on Diana, she also used to watch videotapes of Diana. Any interviews, Meghan would watch it. She watched Charles and Diana's wedding repeatedly. Now, when she decided that she was going to target Harry, this is when Meghan quickly started changing her CV. I do believe that this goes back to 2015. I think at this point they'd either crossed paths or she had met people that were friends with Harry, and she decided at the back of her brain she was going to reinvent herself, maybe even as far back as 2014. So the first thing she did was she signed herself up with a new PR agency and said, I want you to make me a humanitarian. This is why when Vanity Fair wanted to fact check Meghan's philanthropic endeavours and her charities that she supported, they couldn't find any evidence to back it up. That's because Meghan, much like as I said, putting on a new outfit, she was in the dressing up box, she was going to pretend that she cared about other people. And one of the other things that she did, obviously we saw her give a speech at UN Women. She did a couple of speeches for them. She couldn't get taken on as an ambassador because they saw straight through her narcissism. They could even see that she was in it for herself. But world vision, now this one is definitely key. Meghan, using Diana as a blueprint because she had obviously worked out this is the best way to get into that boy's noodle, she went to Rwanda. Now, while she was out there, she had, according to several reports, she had demanded luxury travel, luxury stays. She took out massive suitcases with lots of different clothes. She took a fashion photographer friend. She demanded that he would be the one that came with her. And they were reportedly going off all of the time. Tom Bower covered it in his book, Revenge. And Meghan was obviously there more for a fashion shoot. But there was one photograph in particular that gave me the red flags, and I believe this was the start of duping the dope, and it was this one. This one looks exactly the same pose as Diana. Meghan knew exactly what she was doing, and even way back then, she was mimicking her. The mainstream media also lapped it up, which is why I believe that Meghan started dressing like Diana on purpose. It gave her that comparison which she craved. It also helped with her control over Harry. Look, people see me exactly the same as your mother. Now, Diana wore a lot of timeless pieces, and fashion does of course come around again, and you know from some of the things that even Catherine, Princess of Wales, has worn, you know, you could compare it to some of Diana's outfits. But Meghan takes it to the extreme. From hats to shoes to even the exact same colours. I am without a doubt that Meghan is very deliberately copying Diana. I mean, who would actually wear these colours unless they were going to a Halloween party as a Quality Street rapper? It's not been once or twice. This has been a continuous pattern ever since she got her foot through those palace doors, and some would say even before then as well, like I said, this photograph in particular. But it's not Meghan just dressing like Diana that gives me the creeps. What does it for me is Meghan copying Diana's mannerisms. It's like she's studied her, and this is where it takes on a whole new creepy aspect, and as I said, Norman Bates. When Meghan did the Oprah interview, she wore the dark, smoky eyeliner that was very reminiscent of the 90s. Have we seen Meghan wear eyeliner like that before or after? No, we haven't. She did it the same as wearing black and white. She did it on that because it would remind people of the Diana and Martin Bashir interview. But she did throughout that do little head movements, do little nods. She'd bite her lips. She would do things that to me proves that she definitely studied Diana's mannerisms. And this is part of the reason why I think Prince William got red flags about her straight away. You imagine meeting your brother's new girlfriend, and not only does she smell like your mother, who Prince William obviously was very close to, being those few years older, but also she starts looking at him and touching him and trying to, you know, in between flirting of course, trying to emulate his late mother. That's probably probably why a lot of people got red flags about Meghan behaving like that. But Harry lapped it up, didn't he? As I said, hook, line and sinker. Harry has allegedly tried to convince everybody that she is just like his mum. And for a man who is in a sexual relationship, being obsessed that your wife is your mother reincarnated makes, I'm not gonna lie, it makes a little bit of vomit come up to here for me. It really does. Harry clearly has no problem with it, you know, each to their own, but it does remind me of that bit I listened to of Spare, because you could listen to the audio version of it. So I heard Harry's very own voice, and again, I wish, much like the twerking video, bleach for my eyes, I need bleach for my ears, when he spoke about being reminded of Mummy as he put Elizabeth Arden cream on his frozen todger. You know, there are certain flags being raised here for me, and it just, I don't know, just makes me, you know, just, don't know, it can't just be me, right? But the latest photograph of Meghan on Space Mountain with Harry proves to me that this is a game that she will continue to play, and it ensures that Harry will never leave. It also explains his aggression increasing towards his father and his brother. Look up the Oedipus complex. It seems to be that Meghan has triggered that in Harry. She will have him jumping through hoops for the rest of his life. All I can say is if she leaves him, I think Harry will need a sort of deprogramming therapy, like someone who's left a cult. And I really wish that I didn't have this thought process in my head, but every time I see her doing something like this, where she is mimicking Diana, all I can think about is Meghan on the back porch calling for Harry to come in from the garden, and Harry skips up the hill saying, "Come in, mother." It just, well, like I said, blech. So enjoy those thoughts that I've now planted in your brain. So that's it for me. I will be back with you for a proper sage cleansing tomorrow or Wednesday, where we will be talking about the fantastic, the fabulous Prince of Wales. See you soon, guys. Bye.